Hi, this is Bill Prater, and welcome to Supercharging Business Success, where it's our mission to provide you with timely, provocative, and actionable resources that you can use to inspire, promote, and accelerate your quest for business success. Today's episode is how to get started with the webinars in just 7 minutes with Omar Zenhom. Now, Omar is the co-founder of Webinar Ninja, and he's the host of a popular podcast called the $100 Million MBA Show. Now, that show has over 1 million webinar attendees today. That's not quite right. Webinar Ninja has over 1 million webinar attendees today. It's grown from its founding in 2014, and Webinar Ninja has been named one of the fastest growing SaaS companies of 2018. The $100 million MBA show consistently ranks among the best business podcasts in over 30 countries and has had over 100 million downloads and over 1,400 plus episodes. As an educator in the secondary and university levels for over a dozen years, Omar decided to apply his natural passion for teaching and for learning to the business world. So between teaching classes, he studied and worked to finally make the transition from full-time entrepreneurship. So from brick and mortar to e-commerce to SaaS, Omar learned the art of entrepreneurship from real world successes and failures, ultimately dropping out of Wharton's MBA program to build and manage his own companies. Now, through the $100 million MBA show and Webinar Ninja, Omar has made it his business to help others learn, teach, and grow as entrepreneurs. Thanks very much, Omar, for being here. This is
Thanks, Bill.
Fantastic to have you here. So with your permission, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give us 7 minutes. I got a little timer running even. So if I need, I'll give you a little heads up on how much time is left, but it's more than enough time. So if you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm all set.
Omar, so who's your ideal client?
My ideal client is somebody who's looking to use education to present and sell their product. They believe in teaching is the new selling.
Beautiful. And so what problem do you typically solve with these folks?
The problem we solve is we simplify, we make it easy for you to create webinars. Webinars can be daunting, so that's our mission, is to make sure it's easy to create webinars.
So I guess I'd say what feelings or symptoms or stomach angst or whatever, what exists in our listeners so they would know, oh yeah, I know what he's talking about. I've got that problem. What are those kind of feelings?
Overwhelm. There's so many things to do. There's so many moving parts. There's the feeling of don't know where to start. The feeling of if I do it, it may not look professional. What if I choke? All that kind of stuff. That nervous angst of feeling of getting on stage. You know, kind of the butterflies, the stage fright.
Okay.
All those things apply.
So with all of those things applying, what mistakes do you typically see, Omar, that our listeners are making, might make, or did make in the past?
One of the things I found is they have analysis paralysis. They don't start because they find the technology daunting, and this is what we try to solve. We try to make it super simple and easy. They feel like there's a lot of moving parts, so therefore they feel like, let me just do all these things first before I actually do my first webinar. One of the biggest mistakes is not understanding that it's not actually the technology that matters. It actually matters. What matters is the content of your delivery.
So now you said people are seeing a big stack of stuff growing and growing and growing in front of them. So Omar, what is one single valuable action that our listeners can take right away and make a giant step towards solving the problem you just described?
I think the first step anybody can take to start running effective webinars is crafting a great topic for their webinar, which is the title for the webinar. The title of your webinar really has a big effect on your success, your attendance, your registration numbers, all that kind of stuff. And really, what you need to focus on is what is your audience struggling with the most, and how can you solve it in a workshop. If you can really nail that, and there's multiple ways you could do that. We speak about that with our community, whether it's asking people on social media, whether it's surveys, things like that. But the point here is that that's a really good step, because once you nail that, everything kind of falls into place. You know exactly what to do. You know what kind of slides you got to put together. You know what your result should be.
Excellent. Now, I've been a client of yours for quite some time, Omar. So thanks for helping me out. And I know that one of your missions in life is simplifying things for people. I appreciate that. But I know you've thought up something that you could offer to our listeners, a valuable free resource. So, what's the resource you've thought about for us, Omar, and where would they go to find it?
Sure. One of the best things I can give anybody is our 7-part video course called Your Webinar Blueprint course. It's 7 videos that will show you step by step how to create your first webinar. And people can get that over at webinarninja.com/course.
/course.
You got it.
Excellent. So we've got about 3 minutes to go, and so here's what I'd like to propose. What question did I not ask you that I should have asked you? And if I would have asked that question, what would the answer be, Omar?
That's a good one. I would say many people, when they think of webinars, they don't really know what to imagine. They don't really know, especially if they've never done it. I would say it really equates very closely to speaking on stage at a conference. How much effort, how much preparation, how much rehearsal would you put into that? Because you want to make sure that you perform well, you know what you're going to say before you say it, all that kind of stuff. Uh, I always say this to our audience. It doesn't mean you have to prepare for hours. It just means that you need to get the words out before you actually have to do it live. Everybody knows their information very well. You are an expert in your area of expertise. You've been doing this for years. That's not being questioned here. What we're talking about here is, do you know how to deliver that information in a way that people can understand easily, effectively? That's something that I learned over the years as an educator, as a teacher. Not everybody's a great teacher. Not everybody can convey the ideas they want to succinctly without any kind of equivocation. So that is something that I really believe that if you invest the time in, where you just actually run through the webinar, actually you can actually do a test webinar and watch the recording beforehand, you're going to perform a whole lot better than everybody else, because it's not the first time the words are coming out of your mouth.
Excellent. And so the video course that you are offering to us, that will walk you through what you need to do in detail, what you just articulated there, and including, and I think it's a beautiful point you just made, including the opportunity to practice, to record it, to watch the recording, maybe let other people take a look at it too. That's a beautiful approach to take.
Yeah,
I,
totally.
unfortunately, occasionally have had okay, I think I know this pretty well. I think I'll just wing it. And that's not a very good approach. Okay,
It won't be
sir.
disastrous. It won't be disastrous,
Yep.
but you'll do much better if you don't.
Indeed so. Okay, well, Omar, thank you very much. I think that was going to be a fantastically well listened to episode, particularly when they find out what you're giving away to us. Now, for everybody, look, in closing, focus on this single fact, and that is that businesses do not become extraordinary in a single instance. Instead, they get there as a result of the owner learning and applying a proven combination of having the right mindset, a dedication to a system of management, and third, leveraging a high performance team. Thanks for listening. Omar, thank you very much for sharing your wisdom with us.
Thanks, Bill.